If the Messiah's kingdom was still thousands of years in the future, why did the Eastern Roman Empire put him on their money as king? And before you say that's Jesus Christ on the coin, look at the actual inscription, because there's something else you've probably never been told. Around 692 AD, Eastern Roman Emperor Justinian II issued gold coins bearing the image of the Messiah. And in the inscription, it proclaimed, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, meaning Isus Christos, King of those who reign. Notice that Isus, not Jesus, with a J. Why? Because the letter J didn't exist at the distinct modern letter we use today. The name traveled through languages. Probably going to butcher these names, bear with me. Hebrew, Yeshua; Greek, Iessos; Latin, Isus, and eventually into English as Jesus. So when a museum calls this a Jesus Christ coin, understand that is the modern English rendering. The ancient coin did not have the modern English spelling Jesus, but that isn't even the biggest part of this coin. Look at what they're proclaiming about the Messiah, King of those who reign. Now read Revelation 20, verse 4. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. And Revelation 5:10 says, and we shall reign on the earth. On the earth. Now remember what happened historically. The Western Roman imperial government collapsed in 476 AD. But Rome didn't simply disappear. The Eastern Roman Empire continued, and under Justinian I, Eastern Roman armies actually reconquered enormous portions of the former Western Europe, including North Africa and Italy. Then, generations later, Eastern Rome is literally minting money portraying the Messiah as King of those who reign. So here's my theory. What if we've been looking at this period completely backward? We're taught to call these the Dark Ages. And what if we're looking at the remnants of an era when the nations only recognize the kingship of the Messiah? What if Revelation 20 isn't describing something we're still waiting to begin? What if we're looking at historical fingerprints of a reign that already happened? Because scripture says in Revelation 20, verse 4, they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. Revelation 5:10, they shall reign on the earth. 1 Corinthians 15:25, for he must reign, and centuries after the first century judgment upon Jerusalem, we find the Messiah's image on the money of the surviving Roman Empire, proclaimed King of those who reign. Does one coin alone prove Revelation's 1,000-year reign? No. But in my theory, it's one more historical clue that deserves a much closer look, because if we've been taught that the Messiah's earthly reign is entirely in our future, I have one question. Why were they already putting the Messiah on their money as king? Maybe instead of only asking when his reign begins, we should start investigating whether we've forgotten the reign.